We're real. I believe we're real. We're live. We're here.
Ooh. Look at us. We have our mics.
We all have our mics here. We're all existing. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Not sure who the everybody here is, but welcome, welcome. We're back at it again with the Blastcast. As you can see, we've played this a lot. We've done this many times, many a time. We had just checked how many times we've played in total over the past 3 Blastcasts, and it's been a total of 150 times. That's a lot. Did you know that was a lot? That's a big number. Because I know it's a big number.
We're breaking records.
Truly, we're gonna break it. We're gonna get to 999 at some point.
We just gotta. That's the goal. That's the end goal.
Yeah.
We are legally obligated.
Mm-hmm.
We are legally obligated to max out the counter.
Indeed, we are. Anyways, the topic of today's big Blastcasts, it's nothing. I mean, it's a pretty fun topic. It's a pretty wide and broad topic to be talking about. Because we're just talking about indies, talking about just indie games, just as a whole. Like, really just kind of the broad topic of just indie games we probably like, or just like what indie games really even are, what they represent, all that fun stuff. At least I think it's fun stuff. You don't think it's fun stuff? I think it's fun stuff.
I think it's fun stuff. I like indie games.
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
They have a lot more creative reign than AAA projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's alright. I suppose that's the first thing we could really talk about is like what really makes indie games like stand out to you? What really like kind of what's kind of the groundwork for like an indie game that either catches your interest or is an indie game that you would otherwise enjoy? What's the foundation here?
Yeah, that's tough.
Normally, when I hear about an indie game, it's from like a Twitter clip of gameplay or something. So usually I get like a sampling of what the game's about. And if I like that, I go and look at its Steam page usually.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is usually, at least from my experience, is usually how I get into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say kind of the same for me. I usually see a little bit of something before I'm interested in it. Just not on purpose, but it happens.
Yeah.
I think what really got... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go. You're still going with your train of thought.
Yeah. I think what, really first got me, interested in indie games was, Celeste, specifically, because that was the game I played that I knew was indie. And then I kind of just realized from that point on, there's a lot here. Smaller team, technically, but there's a lot to do. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of interesting things. A huge variety of gameplay. So, yeah, you can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get everything.
I would say that I have a very similar introduction because Celeste was also probably the first big indie game that kind of stuck in my head as a game that I played and enjoyed thoroughly. Like, it was just a game that I initially just kind of got as a kind of a spur of the moment kind of deal, Because I heard good things about it. It seemed pretty cool, and then I play it. It's like there's something about it. There's something about Celeste that just kind of clicked on a good level, because the more you hear about a game like this, or just kind of a project like this, you realize how creative and how much trans girl video game. Hell yeah, that is Celeste.
It's true. Happy Pride Month, folks.
True.
Oh,
Happy
yeah?
Pride Month. Good first game to start off with. Celeste, peak video game.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Celeste is a really good introduction because there wasn't really it's you can see a lot of inspirations that the game takes. That the game I think that's a big thing that's here for me with indies, is that when you feel the inspiration that comes out of a project like this, and you can feel everything that makes it what it is. I think that's the hallmark of what makes a cool indie game, because you can tell that the devs really wanted to make something that really only they could think of, or that would really kind of be the thing that they really wanted to make. Because no one else could. No one else could really envision what they wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just wake up one day and have Celeste entirely envisioned in your head, unless you're, the Celeste dev.
Yeah.
I think Celeste in particular is also interesting because it started as a very simple game in Pico 8, which is just a very simple 8-bit in-game design engine.
Mm-hmm.
But
I never knew that.
yeah, that little secret you can find in Chapter 3 was just lets you play the original version of the game.
That's pretty cool.
Oh.
And then they able to upgrade that into, the game we have now.
Yeah. Also Star 7.
9 chapters, really good story amidst the mind-numbing platforming. But the good kind of mind-numbing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Star says, I was gonna say something earlier about the level of effort in indie versus AAA, but I got stopped by 5 goddamn ads. Ooh. I'm sorry. indie games feel much more likely to be a genuine passion project. A product that devs actually care about. That's a really good way of putting it, honestly. Like, you can... Either you feel the passion of, like, what the devs are trying to do here, or you feel like... Or you can just kind of feel the inspiration. Like, if it's both, it's a wonderful game that will definitely find an audience. I think the big thing about, like, an indie game is that if it can click, it will find... If it has passion put behind it, and like, if it's something that the dev really envisions fully, it will probably find its audience, even if it is niche.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sometimes you can, like, follow the development on, like, Discords and stuff, too. That's really cool.
It's like, I should probably join. Hades, big game. Hades 2 is in early access right now, and I've been playing the hell out of that. I should probably join the Discord and leave some feedback, because I do have tons of like positive and negative things to say. Some things I think should be changed, some things that are good. It's an early access game, and as a fan who's paid to play the game, I can suggest changes, and I think that's cool too.
I learned recently that's how they did the first game, and I never knew that.
What say you though, Mooney? What would you say is like your baseline for an indie game?
I get the feeling Mooney's been typing up an essay.
Probably.
Or...
Oh. I didn't think I'd get this far. I mean, you're part of the couch for a reason. There's a certain level of experimentation that indie games can get away with. The AAAs are too cowardly to do. Well, AAAs I wouldn't say are too cowardly, it's just that there are executives hanging over them that prevent them from even thinking about doing things that indies can do.
It's not quite the same comparison, but like I think about main series Pokemon versus fan-made Pokemon.
Indie games can be gay. Hell yeah, they can.
that is very true too. Yeah, there's like every fan-made Pokemon game I've played has gone way deeper with a story, but like beyond that, they're not limited by a one game a year time deadline.
Mm-hmm. I would like to say that probably the deepest that a Pokemon game, like a mainline Pokemon game, has gone was probably around on the level of the Black and White duology.
See that? I do think I haven't played them as much, but I do think like the GameCube games, which were like way less talked about, went way deeper than like anyone else would want to. They just one of the games opens with two guys just getting left in the middle of the ocean.
Wow. Yeah, the money man. Yeah, entirely fair. I figured that was probably something along the lines of what you were going for, but I just kind of took it at very face value, so apologies. Yeah, GameCube, like there are definitely AAA games that can push like I don't know, push the envelope on some things that you wouldn't normally expect out of a AAA dev, but typically that's reserved for the spin-off kind of things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you kind of expect to divulge from what you would consider the main line of a specific series.
Right.
It's kind of unrelated, but you guys talking about Pokemon got me to think about Cassette Beasts. I think it's.
I was
called.
thinking you would bring that one up. I've seen good bits of that game. That game looks really sick.
Just the style and everything. I think it would be a favorite.
Mm-hmm. because that piece I've seen is just AAA today is often very sterile. You don't really see anyone take risks anymore. How the very game you're playing, Mario Party, for example, reeks of the same sterileness of how standard that this. You make a very good point here. Like this Mario Party, while it is a good entry in the series, while it is a game that I will still say that I genuinely like, it definitely reeks of what happened to Mario back in like 2010 to, well, I guess post Galaxy 2. It reeks of that kind of Mario post Galaxy 2, very sterile Mario. You don't get new voice lines. It's very standard.
Cool. There's definitely also something to be said for how there's never really a reason to remaster an indie game that isn't like more than 10 years old. Probably even further. Because like this is a collection. Obviously it's not just remastering Mario Parties 1, 2, and 3. But it is still a remaster and remake of basically the entire series.
Yeah. It's a big mosh pit of just Mario Party stuff.
Winner.
But also like a weird case of like being strangely modernized in a weird way. Like Mario Party like up to I'd say even around Mario Party 9, maybe even 10, there was a lot more like, as Star was putting, a lot more goofy fonts, a lot more fun things that the games did. Like Mario Party 8 had some fun. Like Mario Party 8, great direction the game kind of like to, I don't know, present itself in, you know?
Yeah,
like
there was still... Go on.
Yeah, like every Mario Party kind of had like something that made that game unique in a way. Like even if they were being released practically yearly up until Mario Party 9, there was still something that you could point to that would make it distinctly Mario Party and distinctly unique from everything else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This game, like, I'm not really sure how to put it outside of this feels like the Super Mario Party version of like the classic series. That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
But I suppose we're kind of getting a bit off topic here. I'm not sure if you've really cooked anything up yet, Mooney, but I suppose we're still kind of on the baseline here of what indie games are and what differentiates them from just AAA. If you had anything.
There's a lot less corporate stuff in indie games.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's a very good, just kind of general baseline.
They usually don't have to worry about someone looking over their shoulder and telling them what they can and can't do.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot more creative freedom, a lot more of things that they can just kind of do if they really want to. There's just nothing. There's like, really, indie games are just the passion project. They don't really care about the financial gains as much as like really anything AAA. The financial gains are like a secondary reward outside of just releasing a game that you wanted to make, rather than the primary goal of releasing a game that will sell well. So that our company can stay afloat.
There is still a degree of necessity. Like if you make a game that doesn't sell at all, you go bankrupt. But
I mean, yeah, obviously.
You don't usually. If you got a big enough team, you don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Kickstarter.
True.
Yeah. I suppose that indies have a lot more variance in terms of like. There's a pretty big variance in terms of like what indie games can be, or like the scope of indie games, because some can be really really small, like only like a few hours long sometimes, if you're making like a visual novel or something like that. Some of those, like sometimes they can be like a few hours long, just like a simple platformer, simple visual novel, simple art, like simple really anything. It can be just super small. You know, that's just like, and then sometimes they can be really large scale. Sometimes they can be like, sometimes there's a lot of things that are riding on the indie game in general. Like there's a lot of things here. There's a lot of people backing the game. There's a lot of like talk about the game itself. It's like there's a very wide scope of what an indie game can be, in a sense. That's so. Undertale is only 7 hours long at its longest. Yeah, like some games are just like, some games are just meant to like, some games don't really have much buzz going around it during dev. Others have a lot of buzz going around it in dev, and a lot of like things that, a lot of expectations that go along with said game. Other games
What's
just...
cooler is my bad. Continue.
Yeah. And then other games are just like, other games just have no expectations at all. It's just like the expectation of the developer themselves just saying, okay, I want this to happen. But, yeah, you can go on.
I was just gonna say, like, what's better is, or what's cooler is both of those games can, like, sell around the same amount. Like, they can, it doesn't matter how it's developed, it can still pop off if it's good enough, which is really cool.
Yeah. It's the, I suppose it is the motto of Ratatouille. Anyone can cook. Anyone
as long
can
as
be
they
a
got
cook.
the sauce.
Yeah, as long as they got the sauce to cook, anyone can do it. You just need the passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to a lot of the Indie Discord sector, and it's interesting seeing all these same pitfalls that games fall end up into permanent dev hell, or have enough justification that they just dysfunction, that they just end entirely. Yeah, I can. That's definitely something that can be a bit scary. Like the fear of like feature creep, like adding too much to a game, or just having to bug proof, or just kind of bug proof like a game to the point where it just never gets finished.
Insert Hollow Knight Silk Song joke here.
I cite the golden standard of do not do this in Yandere-sen. Uh-oh. A game that can go to middle school? Nah. Dude, it can go to middle school now with how long it's been in development. Dude.
Oh.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, how long is that, like 10 years?
It's been at least 11. If it's got to be
Let's do a little
middle
checkup.
school. Yeah, we got to do a quick checkup of how long Yandere-sen has been in development.
Good lord.
Tell me.
Silk Song hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, they
Developed?
just celebrated their 10th anniversary at the end of March.
I don't know if that's really I don't really know if we really want to celebrate that one, fellas. I'm not sure about that one. Don't worry, it didn't take a lot of time away from development. Yeah, to celebrate, yeah. You created a music video. Good for you. Good for you, Yondev.
not to trash on the brother, but that is kind of like the what not to do in terms of an indie project, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
The other hand is the Minecraft mod. Never really finished, but doing that on purpose. Yeah,
That's a good example.
Minecraft is, yeah. Minecraft is definitely the example of just like there's definitely an intent behind the game development and game design. Like, I'd say when you can see it, like when you can see the intention of the developers, I'd say that's when an indie game kind of like succeeds in what it tries to do, because like then you can kind of be on a similar wavelength to the dev that you are playing the product of. That's a fun thing. It's just kind of understanding where these different things about the game design kind of come into play, kind of going into place.
Is Minecraft like a Microsoft thing now? Like, who owns them?
Microsoft owns Minecraft, and I think Mojang, but Mojang is still the team that does like all the lead development. And I think they still technically classify as an indie studio, even though Microsoft owns them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cuphead, kinda. Right? Isn't that how that went?
In a sense.
Finish.
Makes sense to me.
Winner.
Like, because like Minecraft was just initially very big, just like indie game that was eventually just kind of swooped up by Microsoft. Like, it was free initially.
Oh yeah, the earliest betas.
Yeah, like the initial bits of Minecraft were just free, which is kind of wild to think about. A time where like one of probably one of just the biggest games, just in general.
The single best-selling game of all time.
Yeah,
Start.
was just free. That was it. It was free. I mean, like,
For free?
I guess it's like, if we're kind of getting a little philosophical about things, you could just kind of pinpoint a lot of like points in time where a lot of things were just indie dev stuff, in-dev stuff. Like, think about Tetris.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a whole there's like a whole big old history to that game that is just like super well documented about just. I don't know if I should really get into just this, but it's kind of a wonder to think about how things that were once super small, like indie projects, or what we could classify as an indie project, ballooning into these monumental things that are just like that you just can't really think about. Like, you can't really think video games without like kind of thinking about like this, or like thinking about a genre, not thinking about Tetris. Like, puzzle game for video games. You can't really think twice about a puzzle game without really thinking about Tetris when it comes to, you know, puzzle video games.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's neat to think about. How about we get into more specific things now? With all this rambling, how do we get into some specific like games we would like to point out as indies that we enjoy?
Shovel Knight.
So we've already Shovel Knight.
It's
I
really
need to
good.
play Shovel Knight.
You ever like a classic Mega Man? That's your go-to.
Like when was it? Middle school. I randomly just popped up an emulator. Yeah, Undertale's office also just good.
Tell me fun of it as you will for Sam's memes, but I like that game a lot. Like,
it is a really good game.
You know, Undertale was like supremely good to the point where it is now a game that has been claimed by the internet.
Finish.
Yeah.
It has been entirely claimed by the internet. I think that's I think that goes to show how good that game was, because the game has now just been entirely claimed by the internet. It is inseparable from it now. Whether it
The
be for
game is
better,
phenomenal.
whether it be for
Yeah,
better,
like the game is phenomenal, but there's still a degree of it's a phenomenal game, so it's gonna get talked about, it's gonna get memed to hell. But that's not necessarily a bad thing either, you know.
yeah.
Part of the reason Sans is a meme in the first place is because he's the laziest character in the game. He's supposed to be extremely weak, and then he's like the hardest boss when you're doing the worst possible route in terms of like lore.
Yeah, the worst possible route in terms of lore and gameplay. This is your punishment.
Literally, you go out of your way to kill people.
Yeah. And at that point, it is just your punishment for getting... Okay. This is, like, a really weird thing to bring up here when we're talking about indies, but, like, I don't like how Yoshi's style moves on, when he's just idling right there. I don't like how it moves separate from his body.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Why does it do
Ugh.
that?
It's like a stab.
Y'all watching this, right now on stream, be glad that this is, like, it's super, like, not in focus right now, because I don't want... Like, it's better for y'all that could not think about it too much, because I'm not thinking about it.
Yoshi blow up right now. Get out of here.
Yeah, please get out of here.
Go away.
But yeah,
I did pick random today. I did not willingly choose Yoshi, but you know.
The monkey's paw curls.
shit.
You mean DK's?
Oh yeah. Wait a minute.
The monkey's paw curls into... Aww. Would've been really funny. Okay.
Anyways.
Indies. Right.
Well, I was gonna talk about bring Celeste back up, right?
Yeah, trans girl video game.
True. Because you introduced me to that Pure way back when.
Yeah.
And that was like the first game I had played under the consciousness that it was an indie game. It blew my mind. Like, it was a difficult platformer, but I never felt frustrated, at least in the main levels.
Mm.
And yet somehow still told a genuinely, like, impactful story.
You know, that's the big thing that got me into Celeste. It was like, Celeste is the kind of game where you'd expect to get like some form of frustration out of it, but the game actively just makes sure you don't. It's actively designed to make sure that you never get frustrated. And it's kind of a marvel that it does, while also just telling a story about it. It's almost a perfect example of just a game that is like that which the gameplay itself kind of feeds into the main point it's trying to make, or like it feeds into the story it's trying to tell through its gameplay and its story, and alongside just having a good story. It's like one of those indies that it's just like it's just kind of a marvel it exists.
It's a much minor thing, but like the whole Theo's breathing trick with the feather. Like, I can't say I've used it for a panic attack or anything, but it did help me stay calm when I was getting my braces on. Which is crazy to think it's been that long. But yeah.
Yeah. Celeste's absolute darling video game. And also had free DLC, with a whole other chapter that took me a grand total of 6 hours to beat.
Oh, and how many deaths was that? Like 2,000 something?
Yeah, like I still have a clip of it. It's like 2.3k, I'd like to say.
Woo! I didn't get to have all mine counted once because I accidentally quit the level at a midpoint twice, but yeah, I was close to the same.
Yeah. I appreciate the last part of it, just giving you a message if you die too many times. It's just like, can I do this? Yes, you can. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, you got this.
The last checkpoint is the entire room.
Yes, it is.
Was Chapter 8 part of the base game?
Yes.
'Cause I know we... Okay.
Chapter 9 was the only DLC.
Sure.
So it's Chapter 9 along with the variants stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Venger Mooney? What games do you want to bring up? If anything.
Have you heard of the hit indie game Rabbit and Steel?
You
It is
have
only
linked it here.
$15 on Steam right now.
Ooh.
The one you shared with us the other day.
Yeah. We're gonna
I
turn
see.
you up a little bit though. Should be good though. No. Yeah.
Did my TV just die?
What?
No, it didn't. Never mind.
Okay.
I think my TV just got really quiet all of a sudden. Could have also just been my computer fan going nuts, so it sounded quieter. Anyway, go on.
Finish!
Yeah.
Winner!
The title is Terraria, still receiving updates to this day.
Terraria, yes. So I mentioned Celeste is the first indie game I played with knowing that it was an indie game, but Terraria is the actual first indie game I've played. And I didn't know that for ages. I just browsing YouTube one day as a kid, saw Terraria video, watched Terraria video. I wanted to get Terraria as soon as it was available to me, which was not for a while. I fucking love Terraria.
That game is a marvel to me.
Hmm.
How do you put that much stuff in a game and only charge $10 for it? Or 15,
Oh,
I don't know what it is now.
It's 10. They won recently the Labor of Love award on Steam, which prompted their massive 1.4.5 update, which still isn't out, by the way. And also put the game just permanently at half price.
They don't need to do that, bro. Wait, it is $5. What the hell?
Jesus Christ. Y'all, it's okay. You cooked enough.
You watching right now? Go buy Terraria if you haven't right now. It's a peak game. If you haven't, what are you doing with yourself? It's $5.
I did not expect the Terraria preach.
The Terraria shill.
I will second all of that, though.
3-digit lines our pockets with fun.
Winner!
It's funny to think about how Terraria's had 5 and now 6 final updates.
Support it.
Oh my! Undertale is $3 right now.
Damn.
Start!
That's really good.
Is it really?
I even got Terraria back when it was 20.
Oh, it's $2.49.
Twice.
Wow.
Is this the start of the summer sale? Are there a bunch of things just half off now?
I couldn't tell you. Oh wow. There's like a survival sale, it looks like.
So it's still on Survivor Games?
Yeah, like survival craft, I guess. Like Rust and that type of thing. That's neat. There's an indie category on Steam, isn't there? Let's see what's at the top.
Pretty sure.
Modding scene that devs fully support. More Terraria stuff. I mean, I feel like I wish I could get into Terraria, but I just don't really know how to feel like I get into it, you know? It's a game that I've heard preached to hell and back. and I'm just like, what am I doing?
The early game is the worst. I will say that.
hmm
I do agree. It takes a while for it to get cool. Like even having played I think I have 800 hours on Steam right now.
The best experience
Yeah.
with friends.
I do agree with that too. I've had like 3 or 4 solo worlds and they've been cool and all, but even my like very incomplete multiplayer experiences have been so much better.
I feel like the best way I could really kind of get into it is I just kind of need a synopsis of what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like, what is the general gameplay loop I'm looking at?
I won't go fully into detail right now, obviously, but basically the reason the first few days are in-game days are so bad is because you don't have movement, and you're so frail that you can't afford to stay away from a secure base for long.
hmm
And it takes a while before you're strong enough to be able to delve underground to get better armor, better tools. But once you do get all those better tools, you can pretty much explore at any time of the day, and you're never threatened unless a boss appears.
hmm So it's very much a kind of, I'm not really sure how to like a meta progression kind of game where you're just kind of just progressing through upgrades and whatnot. A lot of just general upgrades here. Imagine like an RPG where you have to save the world. However, you choose by gathering resources. You choose by gathering resources and fighting bosses for rare resources. Okay.
I would say that is a very good way to put it. Obviously, it's not a turn-based game. You have to be careful with your movement and all.
It's
But it is a very good way to put it. Yeah. Especially because there are genuinely...
RPG in the sense that you are, you are getting upgrades and leveling up in terms of what you can do. More options available to you as you progress.
Yeah, there are even like designated classes. Like there's a few different damage types depending on what weapon you use, and you can upgrade them differently with different armors and different accessories and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Like a 4-person room, if we were to ever get back into it, the 4 of us, would technically be perfect because we could all do one different class. Of course, that does mean there's going to be a point in the game where one class is just suffering from having no options, but...
Is that melee?
Melee is worse mid-game, because you just... There aren't good melee options. But then, like, early game, the worst is Summoner, because there are literally no options.
Right. I appreciate the synopsis of what exactly the game is, because, like, I always look at it, and I'm like, I think I understand, but at the same time, I don't understand.
That's fair. There are still a few, like, very particular details I don't understand, but some of those details don't really matter sometimes.
Finish.
This definitely feels like a
Specifically
game.
NPC happiness.
Winner.
I don't care about learning how that works.
Uh-huh. It definitely feels like a game where I just kind of have to sink time into it to really understand what I'm getting myself into.
hmm
Like the time sink, but I'd say if all of its phrases are what it's are for something that it's
Start.
are to be taken like positively, I would say it's just a game where I have to just spend time with it to understand what exactly is going on, how to feel about it, So,
I would say that's fair.
yeah. Other video
Yo.
games.
Y'all heard of this small indie studio called Jackbox Entertainment Incorporated?
Oh, Jackbox. What a wonderful set of games.
Jackbox is... Oh, yeah. It's literally just a set of games. With a set of games, you can play with so many people.
Yeah.
It's like infinite people.
Jackbox is a wonderful time. I'd
So
say
love,
Finish.
yeah.
I'd say that while the games can be hit or miss at times, there are some games where I just like some games I will always find hilarious. Some games I will always just find as a wonderful time no matter what. One of those games I would say part of that package would be Talking Points. I fucking love Talking Points.
That's a
Oh,
good
isn't that the one where like everyone gives you a topic and you just have to go off?
Yeah, you are working with a partner to make a presentation.
I would suck at that game. I've seen it so many times, but I would suck as a player.
Yeah, it's a game where, while it can be polarizing to people that aren't really great at just it's the game where if you're fine with like the idea like just making fun of yourself by having to present a presentation that is the equivalent of the freshman approach of I will spend 5 minutes on this presentation 5 minutes after the deadline kind of deal, then like hell yeah, it's a great time. But I can understand it being like that's why Jackbox is there's so many things to Jackbox. There's so many things you can do with it. There's so many different games that are there. There really probably is something for everybody. So even if one game kind of rubs you the wrong way, then like another game will rub you the right way. There's gotta be some.
What is it? I think it's Blather Round, where you're presented with a fact of some kind, and one player knows. No, wait. Yeah, actually forget. But I'm pretty sure that's the game where you're given a fact and everyone has to put in a wrong answer.
Oh, that's Fibbage.
And you get points if what?
That's
Fibbage. That's right. What is Blather Round?
I forget what Blather Round specifically is, but like I just know that Fibbage is the classic. You have one right answer, everybody else makes a fib, and you have to try and decipher the fibs from the right answer.
Mm-hmm. I do like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what Blather Round is and why I thought I liked it, but I was thinking of Fibbage, evidently.
Blather Round.
I don't know.
That's the one where you like have a prompt and you have to put in a word and everybody submits a different word. It's like whoever makes the funniest
Finish.
Hmm.
Winner.
Oh, I see. So there is one correct option and people put in wait, that is just fib. Hold on. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this gameplay footage.
Why did you just look at the game right now? What checkbox do I have?
Oh, it's a game where you are trying to describe the word that you have with other statements that people have said. Essentially.
Okay.
What charades? I see.
Yeah, it's charades with other people's words, other people's bullshit.
Okay. I do remember that one.
Is
That one's
Jackbox-
pretty cool
is
too.
Jackbox indie? I'm not really sure if
It was on the indie store page. That's the only reason I said it.
I mean, I suppose. If it works, it works.
I was mostly joking because I'm sure those guys make like a whole ton of money, but like. Oh, Deep Rock Galactic. That's a good
Welcome,
one.
Claudia. Welcome to
I've seen-
Blastcast. We're talking about indie games. Deep Rock Galactic. Also heard cool things about that.
Pizza Tower. Hat in Time is a really good one if you like 3D platformers.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of Metroidvanias, so naturally when I was recommended Hollow Knight, I ate that up.
Oh, that game's so good.
Hollow,
How about
Hollow
Ultimate
Knight
Chicken
was
Horse?
a great experience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's game too. Yes.
Hollow Knight.
I've only played it once, but it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And then Ultimate Chicken Horse is just, it's also a wonderful time. There's so many fun things, just like, I feel like all these games that we're pointing out are just kind of things that you can, there's just something in between AAA and indies.
Yes.
What would be the in-between that, in those, I'm not really sure if there is an in-between here.
Yeah.
It's double A.
Double A? Well, what does that mean?
Buzz,
What does AAA mean? Like, I know people use the term, and it's for like company made, like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft.
Like, what does the double A battery of games do?
Can we get a schooling
thinking of
here?
like. Don't know how much of it. I don't know if this is accurate, but like VR games, the meta systems, which I hate the name, but whatever. Like where is that?
Yeah, I don't know how you would describe a double A company or a double A game.
It's like VR, the Oculus. Like that's not like Meta as a company isn't a gaming studio. So like
I feel like they're like, in a sense, you can kind of describe AAA games and indie games by the factor of what corporate heads are above them. What corporate heads are like making sure that like legitimate small titles that aren't your big bold. Yeah, I mean, I suppose, but it's just like, I'm not sure what would I can't really point to a game that would define that. Like, what's a game that doesn't have as many, like, that isn't as big and grandiose as the big AAAs, while still having pretty harsh, like, at least pretty significant executive control to where you can't quite like Hi-Fi?
Hi-Fi Rush?
I suppose Hi-Fi Rush kind of fits there. Hi-Fi Rush is like pretty big budget. It was like
There is no double A. It's only triple. Like, so from what I'm reading, it's like I go to a grocery store. I have the option of buying like a Pepsi, which is AAA, or the store brand soda, and that's like a generic brand. And that's how they like categorize everything. So it's either AAA or it's not, from what I'm understanding. This is also from like a Reddit post from 10 years ago, so it could be a little dated. But
there's the catch. This was also from a Reddit post.
There's the snatch. I apologize.
Quadruple A game when?
Yeah, quadruple A game. I mean, I think a company has tried to define a quadruple A game before, or tried to say that their game is a quadruple A game or something like that. Probably a big PS5 game if I had to guess, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
I think that's just when big studios partner.
At that point, I'm just yelling because the game costs $100.
True though.
At that point, if it's a quadruple A game, I'm not buying it anyways because the game has $100.
Apparently, the first quadruple A game is called Skull and Bones, which released a little while ago with Ubisoft.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft. Yeah, totally a quadruple A game. Yeah, totally. I believe
And
that.
looking at footage, this is infinitely worse than Sea of Thieves. What are they doing?
Mm. Yeah, so quadruple A game is the double A actually.
That's
That
why
game
it's
started development in 2013, by the way.
Start.
Okay, so quadruple A game. The one quadruple A game that we have, we can classify that as double A squared.
We also classify it as a scam.
Yes,
Excellent.
that's why we're classifying it as double A squared.
Excellent.
Because it's a quadruple A that is trying to classify itself as a quadruple A, but is actually less than a triple A.
Yeah. Please, let's not have that ever, please.
Yeah. I think trying to define quadruple A is too... That's like... If an executive is trying to say their game is quadruple A, then you already know that you're not going to buy the game.
it's in development hell
Because-
or something. Something's wrong.
Yeah, something is wrong, or like the game is going to, or that's their excuse for the game for the game to cost $80 to $90 baseline with DLC,
With these, yep.
and you have to be constantly online to play it.
And then in 2 years, it'll be dead. You can't play it anymore.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Risk of
well.
Rain 2. Slap City. That's a funny one. For
Oh,
like 5 minutes.
Hmm.
Was Shredder.
Shredder's I'm not sure, but I'm not sure what to define Shredder's Revenge as. What was the game dev here?
Let's see.
Tribute Games. Hmm.
At this point, I'm just going through my Steam library.
Reasonable.
I suppose Shredders could kind of count as indie. Not really sure. Not sure how to describe it. But like, I don't know. Shredder's Revenge is pretty cool though. It was very much a cool, faithful arcade game. Arcade style like beat 'em up.
Oh, yeah. Side note, look, assuming I counted the stats correctly, everyone except for me is at 42 wins.
Alright. See you, Claudia.
Oh, farewell.
Yeah,
Oh,
fairly well. Yeah. Yeah, Shredder's Revenge, super cool game.
Ooh. Have any of you heard of Your Only Move is Hustle? That's a good one.
Yomi Hustle?
Yeah.
I
I've
have not.
definitely heard of it. Was like it seemed like a really cool game that kind of just I didn't really get into. It seemed pretty cool. It was the basic premise is essentially I'm not really sure how to describe it. How would you describe it, Bender? I haven't really played it.
You ever seen like those stick fight animations on like Newgrounds and YouTube? Like early day stuff? It reminds me a lot of that. It's like a turn-based fighting game in which like every move you do is in time with what the other person's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it. Like, you both select a move that you do, and whoever has, like, the frame advantage will get the attack in, and that's kind of like the basis of it.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you play it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. It's the basic premise is that like the game essentially works off of quote unquote turns, with every turn being a few frames passing by.
Interesting.
And every turn is you and the other player either trying to get a combo going, winning neutral, or trying to break out of the combo either with DI or with just other options that you have available in certain situations. It is a very unique game. You also, I think the cool thing is that like once you see like after the game is done, after you've played the round, you can just see the round played back and forth in real time.
And that's when the game is like really cool.
Yeah, because then you just get to see all of the shit that you did with you and your opponent did to each other for like the whole round. Because then it just turns into the stick fight that you see online.
Also, you play in slow motion.
Yeah, you play a few frames at a time.
It's also only $5.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah. Very cool concept that you kind of have to see it to understand what's going on here.
I mean, it sounds like a platform fighter, but you play at a much lower speed. Is that kind of right?
In a sense.
Every map is Elden Bridge.
Okay, so it's more like a Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's a traditional fighter that has platform fighter elements in it, mostly to help with the fact that since you are playing a few frames at a time, you kind of need things to do it on all of those few frames at a time. So you can't just put somebody in like a state of just you can't do anything because you're in hit stun, or in those kind of states, like either in knockdown or just in hit stun, because then those frames would be really boring for one player. So they kind of have to have DI, you know.
Mm-hmm. What's this game called again? I'm gonna add it to my
only
wish list.
move is Hustle.
Okay.
It used to be called Yomi Hustle, but then they had to make the name more creative because they got like. I'm not sure about the whole story with that, but point is they couldn't keep the word Yomi in the name. So they had to make it an acronym instead, where your only move is Hustle.
Which slaps, by the way.
You know,
like,
that
good title.
was a really good name though. Name change. I'd say the name change kind of makes it a little better, or like kind of came out a little better than you expected, you know.
What is this? Moon.
Yomi.
Serlin Games.
Oh, this happened.
Something else came out with.
Oh,
this
fighting game
similar
in card form.
Oh.
It was just called Yomi. That's probably it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fighting game in card form. Yeah, that would explain it because it's a very similar concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow. Okay, now I understand.
No,
A
yeah,
little
that makes
dumb though, but I understand.
complete sense. It's funny.
Other indie games. Just to pose the question in the Yellow Void room, what are some other notable failed projects as failures in progress that you've witnessed?
Start.
I suppose the easiest elephant in the room to point out would be Mighty Number 9.
Oh.
I have that game on the Wii U because I decided to get it just from the fact that morbid curiosity, I suppose. Mighty Number 9, I feel like we kind of all, at least in some form, know the know the story of that game, how that turned out?
From my very limited knowledge, I know it was like a Mega Man successor, and they did a Kickstarter for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my baseline knowledge.
Lots of promises that were more or less just kind of not really kept. The game was incredibly middling by the time it came out. There were a lot of things like the ad campaign for it was not really good. Anime fan on prom night, that whole shtick, that whole spiel. I have not played the game myself, so I can't really speak for its quality, but in a sense, I could understand that the game is just like there was a lot of things that like I think that's the greatest example of a game that has too much writing on it for what the game is. Too many expectations that eventually just slowly were not going to be met. Did you know that there was supposed to be there were like I believe a goal, one of the goals for that game included a goal for a 3DS release.
Okay.
The goal has still not been met. They have not made a 3DS version yet.
Nice.
They never will.
In 2024, they haven't made a 3DS version.
You know, I mean, they had that 3DS version was a promise, that was a goal there. It was promised to happen. It still hasn't happened. So, you know, that's probably not going to happen anymore.
I think they missed their opportunity, to say the
That's
least.
really funny.
Yeah. What other failures do we have here?
That's
Have
not
you guys
quite...
heard of the game Omega Strikers, the game that cut its own player base in half?
Oh god.
What happened
What?
to Baggy?
So, essentially, Moody, would you like me to explain it, or do you want to do it justice?
You can explain it.
Okay. So, essentially,
Winner.
game was quite alive for a while. It was a very unique like MOBA soccer, essentially, is the baseline of what I can describe it as. Very unique game. Lots of cool content and whatnot that was being dropped for a while. Quite a few, but within less than a year of its release, they essentially just stopped. They just stopped content. They just entirely indefinitely just stopped content from stopped new content specifically from releasing. They still do patches and whatnot, but all the skins and whatnot, all the additional new stuff stopped entirely. Not happening anymore. Within less than was it less than a year or less than 6 months? It was something ridiculous like that. Because the game was popping off. The game was doing quite. I guess I couldn't say popping off, but it was still doing quite well. For
The
what it
graphic when you
was.
provided it looks like 6 months.
6 months.
Because there's an initial surge and then a bit of a drop off, and then there's another surge 6 months later, and then it just kind of slowly but surely got worse.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't know if that. I assume that's active players.
Yeah, it's. I would like to say around. I'd like to say around November was the point where the game truly just killed itself.
Yikes.
All-time peak 2 years ago. Wait, that's a different game. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, the all-time peak was more I'd say when the game was actually out and able to kind of a big game that was being played. It was around May to November was when it was getting substantial content. And then by the time November hit, the player base entirely just dropped off of a cliff because they just stopped giving new and then released it again. Yeah, and then the game just stopped. They just said, all right, we're not doing any additional content here. We'll do patches. No actual other content. No actual content.
Wild.
So oops. Oh, another very popular game that seems to be actively hurtling into the doom, in my opinion, is Friday Night Funkin'.
Oh.
Seems it's lost a lot of goodwill over the time because devs have clearly bitten off way more than they can chew and promising so much in a short time. And also the devs are some of the most unprofessional game developers I've ever seen. Yeah.
I can't say I've seen them, but
they are Newgrounds users, definitely. That's the best way I can describe them. But I could definitely agree there. Like, it's fucking wild to me that the FNF devs essentially went radio silent for like a good chunk of like 2 years entirely.
Winner. Yeah.
Like, their
nice.
Their Kickstarter was like fucking. There was like millions of dollars in that Kickstarter in that initial Kickstarter, right? A bunch of literal jokes too. Some Kickstarter for several hundreds or thousands of dollars. Yeah, no, like
Really?
Didn't they hit like millions in that Kickstarter? By the way, didn't they actually hit like in the millions there?
Let's see here.
Okay. I gotta
Insane.
search this up. Alright,
Also Lenop, what game were you going to bring up before we started talking about Omega Strikers?
Okay, yeah, I actually don't know. I think what I was gonna bring up was something just really stupid I found on the eShop for 9 cents. I don't think that quite counts, but like, I just found a platformer on the eShop. It was $1 on sale, 90% off, and I still felt like I scammed myself. I also thought about Helldivers for a second, but I don't think that's indie.
yeah, Jesus Christ, the full ass game. The pledge there on the Kickstarter is 2.24 million.
Good
That's a lot of schmeckles.
2.24 million. Like, it is actually insane.
That's wild.
Where's the goal here? Where are the goal things here? Yeah, so yeah. There's just a lot. There's a whole lot. A whole lot. Yeah, they were about 800,000 off of their PS1 port.
What?
With this stretch goal reached, we will port Friday Night Funkin' to PlayStation 1 and sell physical copies, even if it's at a loss.
Sure. Okay.
What? Alright,
No.
I guess.
You know what? Limited run's a thing. I can't give them that much shit. I think.
Jesus, we're biting off more than they can chew here. I gotta say, like, that's all I can say here.
They didn't do like a yandere sim though and put a pin in when they're supposed to be done with it all though.
No,
Right?
there is no current like deadline here. There's no current
That's
deadline
funny to
here.
me.
I think that I'm pretty sure recently they've resurfaced with stuff. Also fantastically fantastic and terrible at communicating with their supporters. A lot of those promised merge things are still not all shipped out.
Good lord.
They recently released their first update in several years, the Weekend 1 update. Yeah, Jesus Christ, this like I'm sure that it's probably I'm sure that it's probably quality, but like, goddamn, it's gonna take forever. I suppose Godspeed to them, because they have bitten off a lot. Granted, they have gotten a lot. They've gotten a lot off of this. So.
Wow.
This is like advanced comedy. Like, you can see the jokes set up here. You know?
Uh-huh.
But I can't say much because it's like, you know, people put money in there. They trust them, obviously, but I just hope they can deliver.
I would like to believe that they can. I want to think that they, like, will somehow pull through here. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that there is like, something a bit alarming about just, I don't know, what they're about to do. Yeah, probably, yeah, something like a Mori where it takes a really long time, but they eventually deliver. I mean, these guys have acted. Makes me think otherwise.
Comes with the territory is a little rude to say, but I don't know.
Maybe they'll pull a cart through Dev.
Yeah. For real though, that game's technically indie. You watching the stream right now.
Points finger at monitor. Hey you!
Are you bored? You should kill time
I don't think this
with
is a very comparable scenario. Yeah, no, it isn't, because Kart Crew is like, Ring Racers is entirely passionate project. They literally cannot accept money on there.
I'd give
cannot
them
accept money for the
$100
project.
for that shit.
Well, I mean, if you want to support them, they are making like independent projects. Go check out like Snap the Sentinel.
Oh.
Winner.
There's check out a little game called Snap the Sentinel.
Okay. Oh, we should do a fan games episode. We should just like go over Sage or something like that. That'd be cool.
I will probably talk exclusively about Pokemon Reborn if we do that. I know I shouldn't because I recommended that game to you.
I remember this. I still need to play it to be up. What the heck is this?
What the?
It's like Sonic Doom. That's really cool.
Very Sonic-inspired Doom game.
We'll say this about Pokemon Reborn. It was a 200-hour experience for me.
200.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Of course, that includes completing the Pokedex, but that took like, I don't know, 10 hours?
Yeesh.
Start.
Do you think we could branch off of indies into fan games for a moment, or do you think we should save that for another time?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I think a fan game episode on its own would cover us for a month, to be honest.
Maybe it could. I'd have to come up with a little bit more. I would definitely talk mostly Pokemon ROM hacks because I'm a huge Pokemon guy.
I mean, hey, that's all cool and shit. I've got Ring Racers to talk about.
Let's talk about Ring Racers.
I don't think it's a good future episode.
Another time? Okay.
Yeah, we will talk about that another time, because as much as that game has been taking me hostage, we can save that for later. What other failure stories can we talk about here?
I joked about earlier about Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Who?
They announced it like 3 years ago, and I don't think there's been an update since.
Yeah. Who?
Okay.
It's supposed to. It was supposed to release this year, by the way.
Wasn't that supposed to just be like a Hornet DLC?
No, it was going to be maybe initially, but it was going to be its own game. It's its own game on Steam right now.
Oh yeah,
With an
yeah.
unreleased release date.
And it ballooned into something, yeah. It ballooned
So basically,
into,
Silk
we
Song's
will
just
never
about-
hear about it.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't help matters that it's being made in Unity, and then Unity made their terrifying decision mid-2023
Dude.
Oh.
that thankfully didn't go through, but
You
like
know,
that would cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, it would.
The poor Silk Song team. We are redoing the engine.
Yeah, Unity lost all goodwill by doing that. Yeah, no. Unity just shot themselves through the foot, and the bullet rebounded into their head.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive how much they just like how they just effectively killed all of their goodwill there.
Yep.
Start.
I remember Cult of the Lamb was one game that said they would go down. They would just delete the game entirely off of Steam once that decision went through because they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, so big thing there, Unity. Good job.
Thank you, Unity.
Good
You
shit,
made-
Unity. You've really done it. You've really outdone yourself.
Play stupid games, get stupid prizes, I say.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, so I
deserved
guess-
all that backlash.
Agreed.
It's good that they got the backlash, so they just stepped back on their decision immediately.
I believe they also fired the CEO who made the decision.
Yeah, get him the fuck out of here. Get him out. Good.
I swear I remember like reading a bit about the guy around the time because like what that guy had made, that wasn't like his first dog shit decision, but I don't remember enough to
Another
talk
sort
about
of
it.
indie groups that now that I think about it. What platform do you trust to develop your game on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it entirely in C.
Dada?
Godot?
Godot? That's how it's pronounced?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
I know that's how it's pronounced. I know that's how I've heard like other people pronounce it, but like I'm so used to saying Godot.
Yeah, I've said Godot for a while. He has a scripting language.
Yeah. So if I remember anything from like my coding classes, coding in C is a nightmare. And if you get something too wrong, it could just destroy your computer. Like you gotta get really far. If I'm remembering correctly, you gotta get really far to get there, but it's still just like
No, it's okay. You can nerd emoji me there. It's okay. I get it.
The extra commentary is helpful.
Very helpful. We should have you on the cast sometime. We gotta get you up here at some point.
yo,
Guest episode? Let's go.
Guest episode, yeah.
we're gonna have all 5 buttons.
You can get green, or you can take purple if you want purple. I'm fine to take the green one if you really want it.
It would match Link better if I switched to green.
Oh, that is
But,
also fair.
Honestly, I've been-
Actually, you could take the yellow one since I feel like Venge. You could take green since yellow would be right in the middle for the guest. You know,
Whatever you want to put me on, boss.
Finish.
it's just, you know. I think it would make sense. Do you think it would make sense? I think it would make sense.
Yeah, actually, I do agree. Guest in the middle would be pretty on brand. On brand? I don't know if that's the right way to say it,
It
but
would make sense.
correct.
We'll see when the time comes. Okay,
Start.
I'll pick green.
Topical.
Oh, I think with that we can suppose if we have at least like any other like indie games we would like to recommend, we can shout them out here. Since I think we've gone on enough with the failures here, the generals of what we define as an indie game, what we like about them, some other games and whatnot. Let's do a little bit of just thinking about like other games you'd like to recommend.
I can talk briefly on how I got Hollow Knight and Ori and the Will of the Wisps at the same time, and I did not know Ori and the Will of the Wisps was a sequel. I still have not played Blind Forest.
Ori?
Ori.
That's the little blue guy, right?
It's more white, but yeah.
Blue White.
Like
Yeah.
one of the bonus characters in Rivals of Aether, along with Shovel Knight. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I know this little fella.
Ori is very cute, I will say. Like, I liked Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight. But like Ori also had a much cooler like creature design, I would say.
It's more like those Buck Up and Drive. Oh yeah, Buck Up and Drive.
Buck up and drive.
Yeah, that's a cool game that some of us, I think Star and I got to see like slowly get in-depth progress just in the OC server.
This game has a lot of sauce, actually.
You know, Buck Up and Drive was super cool to just see Fonta's just like showing off the game as it gets developed. It was super cool to see, and then it just has like a bit of a cool pop off there as well. It did pretty well, from what I can tell.
Good for them. This game looks really cool. I like the line art style. I don't know what you'd call it.
Good cell shading. Good general style.
Yes.
Winner.
I won that while I wasn't looking.
Nice.
Good job. Need to verify the stats real quick. Okay, I'll do that next time.
Sorry. Next game. Sorry.
I think I got it right, but
Start.
I feel like I've talked about every indie game that I really like. I guess I didn't go on my Hades 2 rant.
You have not. We've yet to hear it. We've yet to hear it.
So alright. Here goes nothing. 'Cause I do remember mentioning the game is very much in early access. Like there are parts of it that's not complete. You complete a run, there's no cutscene afterwards. There's dialogue that explains as much, or like in-universe narration that makes sense as to that covers the fact that it's early access in a way that makes sense in lore, right? Obviously, we have a ton more Greek characters that we didn't have in the first game. A lot of H names, as I go on and realize. Hecate, Hephaestus, Hera. It's a lot of H names. I don't know, should I worry about spoiler grounds at all?
I would say maybe. I'm kind of personally looking into the game.
Alright, well, I guess I won't cover... I don't know what's... I guess I could just talk about the weapons. That's not too spoilery. Because as of right now, there are only 5. There's room for one more. And there are only 3 aspects. But they all play very differently from Hades 1. There's a magic system that you have to think about now. Every attack has 2 versions. Yeah, it's cool. Every attack has 2 versions you gotta think about. One for just tapping the button and one for holding the button. And the holding the button uses magic and is generally stronger. It takes some getting used to, I will admit. There are some builds that use magic a ton, there are some builds that barely use it at all. But it's still like an important addition to... an important thing to learn in any given run. But yeah, very, very cool sequel. Even in early access, it's pretty cool. A lot of characters do not have complete art yet, and you can tell.
Well, hey, it's still cool to hear that like the game is still definitely like even in its current state is definitely living up to what you'd expect out of a sequel to Hades.
Oh yeah.
It's very cool.
I also say I feel like the God's boons in this game are overall better. There are a few duds, but like I think there are fewer duds than in Hades 1.
I like that.
That is good to hear. Cool to hear.
Like I'll say Apollo. I mean, he is a god, but not one of his. Aphrodite's, her attack boon no longer inflicts charm. It now just does damage if you're within a certain distance to your enemy.
Cool.
And there's one weapon type that revolves around getting close, so it's just kind of a broken pairing there. So yeah. Hades 2, good game. Very much in early access. If you're okay with that, I'd say get it now.
Might have
Greek
to.
gods are cool.
Yeah, Greek
Oh,
gods
yeah,
are
Greek
very
god.
cool.
They made Hestia an old granny. And it just works extremely well.
Fun.
There's also one character who still has placeholder art, and I hope he never gets real art because the placeholder art just it would be hilarious. What was I gonna name him? Narcissus is in this game.
Winner.
Alright,
I think it'd be absolutely hilarious if this character who's so enamored with himself never had an official appearance.
only he gets to know how he truly looks.
Yep.
Alright, check the stats real quick.
Yes, I believe everyone is correct.
Holy shit, 777s.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 777s. Yep, alright,
Sorry
stats
for
are
being
right.
a bit of an outlier.
It's okay, we just have to all get 2 wins right now.
Right. Let's stall for 6 more games.
I will, one more thing about Hades 2. There is one boon that feels extremely polarizing right now. The Hestia's enhancing, Hestia's dash enhancing boon makes it so that weak projectiles just get eaten up and sent back to foes for a little bit of damage.
Mhm.
But it makes some foes extremely trivial.
Also,
Like, there's one boss who has, like, a dash attack and a ton of weak shots. Every single weak shot gets eaten up by the dash.
also, hi Cal, we're talking indies.
Welcome, Cal. I am in the middle of raving about Hades 2 because I am loving the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Fittingly. Also, they made Chaos hot. I don't know how you make Chaos hot, but they did.
Oh no, he's hot!
Alright, rant over. Play Hades 2.
Good to know. Oh, you know what? You know one that I gotta bring up? I gotta bring up Pico Park.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
we did
that's
a
video
run
game.
through of that game. It was a wonderful time.
That
That's
was a pretty
definitely
fun.
a stream game on the docket here.
True.
We could
Speaking
try
of
and get
rushing up.
more than just the 4 of us for that game.
That could be interesting.
We should totally make a few calls and try to make it an 8-person. That'd be so funny.
Dude, that would be wildly fun, but also has a chance to like. There's a chance for it to be wildly fun, but also wildly chaotic. But I'm all here for that.
I agree. I was gonna be chaotic in the good way.
Yeah. I'll like pass the mention over to people that are watching who would be interested in playing a bit of Pico Park at some point.
Hey you!
Points at camera. Hey you!
What's that?
First note of Ultra Instincts.
That made my stomach drop. I just want you to know.
I love that sound.
I was thinking about adding more of the notes to it, but I think it's fine with just the one.
I
The
agree.
one is good.
Yeah. Yeah, Pico Park, very fun co-op platformer. It's just a great time. Great time with lots of fun stuff to just do with your friends. Cooperate with your friends, or don't, and then make the experience hell on earth for everybody. But we'll have a great time.
True.
We had a great time. And I'm sure we will next time we play it. Woo! Okay, any other games for you two to rant about? Benj and Mooney.
I've got one.
Yeah?
I'm not normally a first-person shooter guy. That's kind of a lie. I like a lot of them, but it takes, like, certain aspects to get me into it. I've been playing the hell out of Ultra Kill recently. Very good game. If you're into, like, old Doom, that kind of thing. Just speed and violence, and all the guns are really fun. They all do, like, different things than what you'd expect of their normal archetypes. Like, the shotgun doesn't really work like how you'd think a shotgun would work, etc.
What dopamine?
Yes, the levels are awesome. You can blast through most of them in like 3-4 minutes if you're really good.
Winner! Yeah!
The enemies are well designed. The difficulties allow really anyone to play it and feel like they're still kicking ass. The bosses will make you cry. Just generally a good ass game. It's still technically in development, but they're almost done with the like third good chunk of the game. The two that are available now are some of the most fun video game I think I've ever played in my life, and I don't say that lightly.
Okay, I'm just starting to install it now.
It's
I
very
just bought
good.
it.
Peak.
I just bought Ultra Kill right now.
It takes a while to get into it, but it's amazing.
I'm about to give it a go at some point too.
Yeah.
Yo, we're making a staircase with our wins here.
Y'all certainly are.
Oh, I thought of one more thing on Hades 2 real quick.
Yeah.
There are sirens in the game too, so obviously they have songs. The songs slap, which feels really ironic. And one of them has reached 1 million views on YouTube, and it's been less than a month.
Well. Also, I was not kidding.
Oh, you oh.
Nice.
I was not kidding.
Funny.
You know,
Akita should hire me for marketing.
I agree. I think you'd do great with marketing.
That would be great.
Alright, Mooney, any games that you would like to talk about? Any others?
You should check out Phantom Rose 2 Sapphire. It is a fun deck building roguelite with an appealing and unique hand-drawn art style.
Can you put the title for that in chat?
Phantom Rose 2 Sapphire.
Phantom Rose 2 Sapphire. I like those deck builders.
Let's take a look at it.
Even that little picture you just sent is actually really, really cool.
Ooh.
Like the art art style. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I like it. I will put the games that we are. You know what? Fuck it. I had a bonus check that I wanted to use. I'm going to use this bonus check for things that I just will spend on. I will spend this money that I have. Alright,
So,
another game.
We are not sponsored by any of these games that we're plugging, by the
You
way.
know, we are just like
Uh,
we are just saying that these games are cool.
That being said, if anyone wants to like line our pockets, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, no, if anyone wants to just like I don't know, just like line up
Super
pockets-
Giant Games, I will sponsor you and play Hades 2 for the rest of my life.
Nathan, if you're watching.
Hit the DMs, please.
I'm glad
we're begging.
we're all on a similar wavelength. I suppose one more little game that I would say, right. I just got something very small. Very small game, just Bad End Theater. It's a very small visual novel. It's like, it's one of those, it is a very, very small game. It's like about 3 hours for a visual novel, but it's a game that is just kind of worth your time to just check out, because I played it. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed the story that it was trying to tell with the short amount of time that it was trying to tell it. It's just a fun little game. Fun little game to check out if you would like. That is all.
I like the art style.
Yeah.
Start.
I suppose with that, we don't really have much more to talk about, do we?
That was a wonderful discussion, regardless.
Yeah, that was a good discussion. That was almost 2 hours.
Wow.
We've talked about some cool games. We've recommended some cool games. Discovered some cool games.
Mm-hmm.
There's imminently a green switch.
I think Donkey Kong is really funny.
Donkey Kong is very funny.
Also,
Donkey Kong-
where is our like Donkey Kong pseudo indie game? Like, I really want one of those.
Mm,
Actually, they made like a ukulele sequel kind of thing, didn't they? And it was like a Donkey Kong. I think I own that actually. Hold on. Wait, yeah, I do. Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. I'll be damned.
what now?
Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. For some reason, they made a sequel to Ukulele, but it's a Donkey Kong clone now instead of a Banjo clone.
Yeah, it was like a
I
very
guess.
under the radar 2D platformer. That like, from what I've heard from the small amount of people that I've heard talk about it, is like surprisingly a good game.
I wasn't huge on like OG Ukulele, but yeah, I'm willing to give the 2D one a shot. Aww. Yeah, we've talked about ukulele. I think we've run this well dry.
We will finish this game right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Shit, you right?
Finish.
Sometimes I'm a prophet.
Winner.
When it comes to luck, you pick with the R.
You right.
9, 9, 7, 8. We were like on the cusp of getting 9s.
Very close, yeah.
It's like scarily close on the cusp of getting 9s.
As for overall stats from previous sessions, Pure and Mooney are still tied at 45. Venge is at 46, and I am at 47.
No, it's almost like it's a 25% chance for all of us to win. So it's like very close for all of us.
Almost.
That's crazy.
Exact placings are actually the same as before, but now we're just 1 and 2 wins away from each other.
Yeah, now we're a little bit closer together.
What if we did one random minigame?
You know what? We could. Could do one
Why
random
not?
game. Might as well just at least show us off. Let's predict a little closer to the center. Alright. Let's do one random minigame. For the laughs. Hell yeah, Kel.
For the laughs, of
For the
course.
laughs.
Oh yeah.
Go to Mount Minigames.
Hell yeah. Off we go. You don't need help, it's okay. We know what we're doing, it's okay, we're professionals. I think.
We are Mario Party professionals.
In huge quotations.
Yeah.
I will speedrun this game. Oh, okay.
How are we feeling about this one? We want to do this one?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I like chicken.
Alright.
I love how fierce Luigi looks.
I don't know about this one, chat.
Start.
Chat, I'm going to die. I'm a flashlight professional, don't worry. I only kid.
No, I lost to Luigi by
Yes.
0.1!
It's okay. Yeah, 0.5. Yeah.
Where?
And my controller is dying too, so this is
Well-
well timed.
Yeah, good timing. I like that you can just select Mario Party here. You can just go
Mario
play
Party.
party
Play
from
game right
from
now.
here. Alright.
So much quality of life.
Yeah.
Online bonus.
You get 20 coins instead of 10. Or, I guess, 20,
Wow.
20 experience? 20 experience, sorry. Man,
Yeah.
remember when this wasn't a thing?
You just hit B and the game's over.
You just hit the end of the game, just like, okay. Session done.
Bye bye.
You hit B, yo, peace out.
Well, that was a
Hey,
fun
stream.
time. That was a fun stream.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah. I suppose tune in next time for us to potentially actually do Four Swords.
Oh,
Oh.
Because Four
Four
Swords
Swords
is
would
pretty
be
cool.
fun.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
just saying right now. Dibs on Red Blink.
Granted.
The prison level will be the last stream ever.
Oh no. I don't
That's
even know
the
if
day I
level-
die.
I don't know if I want to find out.
It's the day someone dies.
This is the true social experiment. Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in. For those that have, I'm glad that you decided to show up at the end, Kel. Thank you, Star, if you're still around, for tuning in. Thank you, Just the Best Around, for also being here. Thank you, Claudia, for showing up for a bit. Yeah, hi, Star. Hi.
Star.
We love
Hi,
you.
hey.
We appreciate our viewers here at the social
As if
experiment.
3D World wasn't. Okay, there were some points in 3D World that definitely did feel like social experiment type beats. I don't think they got on the level of Dokapon though.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh.
Did not quite get on the level of Dokapon, I would say. So, yeah. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope the stream seemed like quality as is. I hope that like things didn't explode in terms of the audio, because I checked the recording before this. I hope it didn't explode. I checked with the recording. Shouldn't have exploded. But if it did, a bit unfortunate, but you know, shit happens. So if it didn't, cool. But I'd like to thank everybody here. I'd like to thank
Blastcast is lost media.
No, just like chapter 5.
Oh,
We
Chapter 5, Lost Media? I think the best way I could I could show off chapter 5 is like just doing a very quick supercut of that chapter. That's I think that's the only way I can really salvage that one, because it doesn't feel right without hearing y'all. So I kind of have to do something like that for that chapter. I'll figure that out though.
that one's unfortunate.
Yeah, quite. But, that said, y'all, everybody here, I'd like to thank the couch up here. I'd like to thank Lenup.
Hell yeah.
And only Lenup, sorry. But yeah, I'd like to thank Lenup. I'd like to thank my
Hold on a
good
minute.
friend, Venger, or Venge.
Oh, I either works.
Yeah,
I think.
Venger. Full legal name, Venger, nickname, Venge.
Add a third one for me to.
Big man.
I don't know. Yeah, that's my last name.
You were
Yeah.
you were big man before big man became a thing.
It's true, chat.
Like,
it's so immaculately true.
It's actually true. Like when we saw big man get shown off, I was like, wait, yo, that's Venger, yo.
Wait, it was just predetermined.
You know. And of course, last but not least, I'd love to thank my good old friend Mooneybo, or just Mooney.
Goodbye forever.
What? Wait, no.
What? No. Oh no. No, the Blastcast is gone forever. It's
Oh,
lost media. All right. Y'all
Mooneybo has jumped out of that window.
All right. Y'all have a good night out there. Take it easy.
So long. Have a good one, folks.
night chat.
Bye bye.